Hi YouTube, I've already done a favourites of makeup for the whole of 2013, but I didn't want December as a month to miss out, so I'm just going to show you the things that I have found myself using a lot this December. And although the little pile in front of you looks quite Chanel heavy, most of it is actually older things that I've been trying to use up because I am trying to work my way through my makeup stash and either use up things or get rid of them, sell them, give them away, and so forth. So I'm really working out what I want to use long term and what works for me and what doesn't. I'd finished up my Chanel Vitalumiere last month, if you saw my empties video. So this month, predominantly, although I have been using my favourite by Terry when I've been going out in the evening or for special occasions, but on a daily basis I've been using this drugstore Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum gel foundation, which is supposed to last for 16 hours. I don't think it lasts that well, but it does do pretty well. And what I like about it is it's very easy to apply. I would say it was a light to medium coverage, fairly light, but effective. It goes on very smoothly either with fingers or a brush. I like to put it on with my Shiseido foundation brush, but then just once it's fairly well blended, warm it slightly with my fingertips. I find that gives a good long-lasting finish. And this is in a very pale shade, Vanilla Claire 51. Another thing I like is they do have a good range of colours with both yellow and pink toned shades for lighter spectrum here in Northern Europe. I don't know, I haven't really looked carefully enough to say if it's as good a selection for darker skinned complexions and for women of colour. I'm not so sure about that, but I really like it. It's you can definitely tell the difference in quality between something like this and the by Terry Pro Expert. They are light years apart in both the appearance and how they last in particular. But this is a really good, reasonably priced alternative that I'm enjoying on a day-to-day basis. So I do recommend looking at Bourjois. Generally have got some nice items and some good quality ones. In terms of blush, I have not been using contouring specifically or a bronzer because I've been using my new Chanel Accent quite a lot that I've showed you in other videos. But I also have been getting out items from last year's holiday collection, and this is the blush, which is called Stardust, and it's a very pretty pale pink with quite a lot of shimmer, so quite a party look. And I have been using that quite a lot in the evenings or even in the daytime. And what I've been doing is I've been trying to use up this NARS multiple, which is years old. Honestly, they last forever. And I am using it up, but I've still got that much to go, and I have to say that it is starting to be a bit dry, so it's still absolutely usable, but you have to kind of press a bit more, which makes kind of blending out a bit more difficult. And this is a kind of light plummy cool tone shade in Antibes, which I'm not sure if they make anymore. As I say, I've had it quite a long time, several years, I definitely have to say. But I have been enjoying using those two together for a fairly subtle a blush look during the day. And I've also been using last year's gorgeous eye palette, which I used a lot last year, not just in the holiday season. I've been using it again this month fairly frequently, and you can see I still haven't completely worn off the quilted pattern, particularly on the gold, which I do use the least. I've really been enjoying using this plum shade, which I thought would be very difficult to use when I bought it last year, but actually as an accent, particularly if you blend it with the taupey colour, it really doesn't make you look ill or red-eyed in any way. And actually, it's been quite nice because I've been wearing quite a lot of crimson clothes as well. I've got a crimson scarf that I've been wearing a lot. So it's been good, and the shadows are lasting very well. They're still very soft and buttery, although they are slightly coming away from the edges a bit. So I do want to use up this palette before it dries out, and it is already a year old, obviously. So it's so difficult to use up these makeups, even if you don't have a lot. This item, again, I've had for quite a long time. You can see I've badly cracked the mirror. And I'm not sure they make this anymore, or they've changed the formulation. It was the Double Perfection Compact, which was supposed to be powder foundation, which this was my second one of these. I really liked them when they first came out because they were very convenient to carry around in the handbag for touch-ups. And that's still really what I used it for a long time. And you can see I have got quite a way into it. It's really too dry now for my dry skin to use as a foundation, but it is quite good for giving a good coloured touch-up in the day round nose or chin where my bourgeois has worn off. But the other thing I quite like to do is use it as a setting powder, although it is slightly coloured, but using it with a brush rather than the sponge, which needs cleaning by the way. You can get just a little bit, and I find it does give a good matte setting finish. So I'm hoping to use that up. I don't think, well, I can't repurchase because they've slightly changed it, but I wouldn't go for that particular formulation again. The other Chanel product that I bought earlier this year, hadn't used a lot when I first got it, is their corrector concealer. This is in shade 31, one of the very light ones, and it's a very creamy, quite thick concealer, and this really does the job. I've had a few breakouts recently, and this is absolutely great, not only covering straight away but really long lasting, which is the problem I find with concealers. I generally use when I haven't got blemishes and I'm just covering up scars and darkness. My favourite is the Bobbi Brown Duo, but although it has a powder to finish which helps, I don't find it lasts as well as this one does. Although this is quite heavy duty, I do like it. I would recommend that if you're in the market for a quite expensive but good concealer. I bought a Maybelline one that looks almost the same. It's packaged very, very similar, almost like, a rip-off. It hasn't got, obviously, the Chanel C's at the top, but otherwise looks exactly the same, but it's a lot more liquidy and it just doesn't do the job nearly as well. So I might show you that if I do, say, a concealer video, because it's quite interesting to see how products that look essentially the same apply very differently. What else? I'm using up my Korres lip butter. Lips dry at this time of year, making some progress. These last for ages though. What I like about this one, apart from the really nice taste, it's not the most moisturising lip balm. The By Terry Rose Balm, undoubtedly much more moisturising, and I also like the Kiehl's. But I do love the flavour of this, and the colour is actually very pretty. It just gives a very delicate, slightly your lips but better colour, which is quite nice if you, I'm in court during the day. I can't whip out a mirror to put on lipstick, but you can subtly stick a little bit of this on with your finger. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate, and you look quite good as well as moisturising your lips. So I do like the Korres lip butters. I've been working my way through a new fragrance, new in the sense that I got this bottle in TJ Maxx that was very much reduced. I have had this perfume before. It's Les Nuits d'Adrien by Annick Goutal, and is a version of the much more famous Eau d'Adrien, which is a very summery citrus unisex cologne that a lot of people like. I much prefer this. It has the citrus opening notes, but it also has some really spicy, woody undertones, almost incensey with, I think, sandalwood and sheep and possibly a bit of patchouli, although I'm not a fan of patchouli. In the right mix, it can smell very nice. And this is a really nice both refreshing but slightly warmer, spicier cologne, which, although it's meant to be a summer fragrance, I actually think works really well at this time of year. So I'm definitely enjoying that. Doesn't have a brilliant last. That's the only thing. You have to keep reapplying it. And of the nail polishes, I enjoyed the Rouge Moire from the fall collection. Looks very good at this time of year, the slightly duochrome with the light red. And got out Malice from last year, my second favourite polish ever. Absolutely gorgeous, and I enjoyed wearing that over Christmas. I actually managed to get a backup on eBay because they're selling for quite a lot now, but I got one quite reasonably priced. It didn't seem to they didn't seem to manufacture a lot of this particular run, so it's quite difficult to get, but it's just a gorgeous Christmas colour. So those were my favourites for December. Let me know if you had any particular favourites, and I'll see you again soon. Happy New Year.